Very first time the word I heard OxyContin, my son was laying dead in his bed from it.
For Ed Bish, Thursday's Supreme Court decision is personal. In 2001, his 18-year-old son Eddie died from an overdose after taking OxyContin. Since then, Bish has become a vocal opponent of a proposed settlement with drug maker Purdue Pharma over its role in the opioid crisis. The court on Thursday rejected that plan. The justices saying that bankruptcy law does not allow the family behind Purdue Pharma, the Sacklers, who are a third party in the case, to be shielded from future lawsuits without going through bankruptcy themselves. Writing that the family was seeking this protection, quote, without putting anything close to all their assets on the table.
You have the Sacklers, who are billionaires, are not bankrupt, but they wanted all the protections by putting their company into bankruptcy.
But supporters of the settlement say this ruling will just hurt families who have been harmed by the opioid epidemic by blocking roughly $6 billion agreed to in the settlement from the Sackler family. That money would have gone to local governments in their fight against opioids and to families as compensation. The agreement also would have transformed the company into a new entity, which would have used its profits for treatment and prevention. A lawyer representing more than 60,000 overdose victims said in part, today's Supreme Court ruling marks a major setback for the families who lost loved ones to overdose and for those still struggling with addiction.
You're talking hundreds of thousands of victims.
Legal scholar Edward Morrison argued in a recent op-ed that the settlement might be the only way for the families to get quick compensation from the Sacklers.
It's really, I think, the tragedy of the Supreme Court decision today is that who does this decision help? Who does it help? It certainly doesn't help the victims. At least the vast majority of them want the money now, and some will die before they get a dime.
Now, the Biden administration had previously come out against this settlement, saying that it was a bad deal for victims and requesting that the Supreme Court step in. In Washington, I'm Evan Koslof, Spectrum News.